guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nzuzo, and today I'll be taking you through my birthday trip that I took earlier on this year in April. I went to Southeast Asia for 3 weeks and I went to 6 countries. So because it was a bit big, I am going to be breaking it down into different parts. So today we are going to be doing the prep as well as the first leg of the trip. So let's dive right into it. So first part about the prep was to book in advance. So flights, accommodation, it's always more advisable to book those in advance. I did not do that for my trip because I was overthinking it for a very long time. Sometimes I struggle to spend on myself, especially things like travel where I cannot point to a tangible thing that this is what I purchased with so much money. Sometimes I just can't get myself to easily commit to those things. Story for another day. So then the other thing obviously is your research. Research the country you're going to, research the visa, the rules that about your passport and that country, the currency, your itinerary, the accommodation, all the different cultural differences is very important for you to research before you go to that country. Obviously, there isn't enough research that can prepare you for the real life experience of being there, but research as much as you can. I think I was doing research for about a month before I left. All I would do with my free time is to research my destinations. And then the next part that was quite important for me is at what time do I travel? Meaning, what season? I do not enjoy wet weather, and the Southeast Asia can have very hectic rainy season. So I had to go during the dry season because I enjoy the sun, I enjoy being out there. So those are some of the things that you should also check out when you go there. And then also, as a 9 to 5 girly, it's important for me because when I go on vacation, I have to use my leave. And this time I didn't have a lot of leave at all. So the timing was very important. I went in April, and luckily April was the best month for South Africans this year in terms of holidays. So we had Easter, we had long weekends, we had public holidays, mixing weekends in all of that. I ended up taking only 6 days of extra leave and going away for 3 weeks. 6 days, 7 days, stand to be corrected, but around there. And if I had gone at a different time, I would have had to take 15 full days of leave, which I obviously did not have. So, and then I want us to just dive deeper into the flights because this time around I did something that I have never done, which is booking a multi-city flight. So when you are on your flight booking app, there are different tabs. So there is the one-way return, and then there's a multi-city. So this time around rather, I booked a multi-city. So multi-city allows you to fly into one city or into one country and fly out of another. So I flew into Bangkok, Thailand, and I flew out of Bali, Indonesia, which also allowed me to just see more places for less. You must always check this out though, because sometimes it can be a bit more expensive, sometimes it's cheaper. In my case, it was cheaper. So I left on the 16th. I left South Africa on the 16th of April, and I came back on the 8th of May, and I left from Johannesburg. It's always so unfortunate for us Durban people because flights are a bit more expensive from Durban, especially international flights. So I had to then have this extra day of putting together my own layover, and then I flew from Johannesburg on the 16th at 8 o'clock. Obviously, I couldn't have reasonably taken a flight from Durban on the morning of the 16th. Hence, I had to sleep over in Johannesburg. I used this place. It was close to the airport. I think it was called Airport Imperial something. Not a 5-star, but it served the purpose for the day. I had a restful night, and yeah, I was able to make it for my flight. And then the second part about flights that I utilized was the long layovers. So I know long layovers can be daunting. People try to avoid them. I don't, because they allow me to explore certain places that I would have never explored at a very low cost. So, but when you're doing that, please do check that the country that you are going to be laying over at allows for your passport. So for me, it was Doha, Qatar. South Africans are allowed to stay in Qatar without a visa, so that's where my long layover was. On my way to Thailand, the layover was at late night, so I did not do anything. In fact, I used my layover to catch up on my admin. I had visa applications to do that I needed for my other destinations during the trip. We'll get to that. But on my way back, I did explore Qatar. I really enjoyed it. We will look into Qatar on a separate video. But that's something I really recommend, because I did not have to pay any, all I had to pay for was accommodation and money for whatever what sightseeing I was doing. Otherwise, there was nothing that I had to pay because I was laying over. Also, I like to do that in those cities where I know that, I mean, I would have never just gone. There's nothing wrong with Qatar, but for me, at this current stage of my life, it's not a place where I'll just say, oh no, I'm taking a flight, I'm booking a holiday, I'm going to Qatar. It's not that country for me. There are so many other places that I still want to visit, so I wouldn't do that with Qatar. And then that takes us to now the next part of the video, which is the first leg of the trip, which was Bangkok, Thailand. Okay, so Bangkok, Thailand. Um, I loved it. Love at first sight. But before we get to the love story, the airport showed me flames. And I think maybe this is something I could have researched better and something I could have planned better on my side. So just to paint a picture, I was not in my best state because I was a bit tired because I couldn't sleep much at the airport or on the flight. So I was tired. I had just started my period. It was hot, 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 hot. I don't know, it almost felt like the aircons were not working. And then on top of that, there was no Wi-Fi in the airport. I went to the help desk. The Wi-Fi wasn't working. They kept on saying, no, it just stopped working. Put this. I was there for hours and the Wi-Fi was not working. And I had told myself that I'm not gonna buy a SIM, a Thai SIM, because I was not planning to stay in Thailand for that long. So I thought it was going to be a waste of money. But now that I know better, I think I should have just invested in an eSIM. Also, at this time, I was assuming that just like South Africa, the malls, the stores, the cafes will always have Wi-Fi. You can just ask for a Wi-Fi password and log into your phone and do whatever. It is not the case in Bangkok, Thailand. I went to so many restaurants. They couldn't help me. Mind you, I didn't have a lot of cash to exchange. I didn't have the money. There was something wrong that was happening with my banking app, and because there was no Wi-Fi, I could not get the assistance that I needed. So it ended up being a very frustrating situation. Eventually, I think I had to go into my other bank account and try to get cash. Anyway, so the first thing that I would recommend that you must have when you go to Thailand, obviously, is the Grab app. They use Grab. Their Grab is the Uber. They don't have Ubers there. So Grab is those green and red cars. And at this time, I didn't know that actually Grab has a stand in the airport. So, but I eventually found the stand. The other thing that wasted my time is that I was trying to be Dora the Explorer and I wanted to try out the railway line. I'm a firm believer that the public transport of that city or the country will actually give you a real life feel of how it's like to live in that place. Because I like to immerse myself into the country or the culture when I'm exploring. I don't want it to just be like tootling from one place to one place. I actually just want to feel like it. It didn't go well this time around because I couldn't figure out the real well line because I cannot read Thai and I cannot understand Thai. So I eventually went to the Grab stand. They were very helpful and I got a Grab into the city. It is a bit of a distance. It is a bit of a distance. And yeah, one thing I regret about this whole lack of planning with the airport is it wasted a lot of my time in Bangkok. Mind you, I only had 2 nights in Bangkok because I do not enjoy exploring big cities. So I just wanted 2 days to just calm down and see what Bangkok is all about. So I had no time to waste. But anyway, I ended up wasting time. Then I got to my hotel. It was okay. It was okay. It was okay. It was okay. I think I could have done better. Disclaimer, this was a trip on a budget. I always travel on a budget. But I still feel like I could have done better for the same amount of money. So I got a bargain, and I think I paid about 1,500 for 2 nights, or even less. 1,500 was it? Yeah, but I was in a very central part of town. It was great. Everybody was friendly. There was a bit of language barrier, but Thailand has a lot of tourists around, so there are people that you can chat to. But to the vendors themselves, the Thai people that are providing the services, it can be hard. So it can even, can you imagine, gay, when you do not have a translator or your internet is not working, it gets even harder. But yeah, have your translator out because it is a bit hard to chat to the service providers, especially those that are not working in hotels. So on my first day, the half day, I explored the city. I went to the night market. I tried the famous mango rice, which was so great. Yeah, so it was so surreal being there. And then I was planning what I was gonna go do the following day. Then it was the following day. I missed my alarm. The alarm, it went off and I did not hear it. I don't know what happened, but I was supposed to leave the house at 8 o'clock. I woke up, I think, at around what, quarter to 11. I was probably just too tired. Anyway, I was planning to go to the floating markets on that first day. So the floating markets in Bangkok are a bit outside of the city. It's quite a drive, so it's something that you need to do preferably in the morning. So I ended up not doing that, but I went to the temples instead. So I went to Wat Arun, a very famous temple, and then I went to the temple of the sleeping Buddha, or the temple of the reclining Buddha. Really enjoyed it. I met great people, but I was wearing shorts again. Research. I was wearing shorts, and as I was walking to the gates, they were like, Aslalila. I had to buy a skirt. I had to buy a wraparound skirt and wear that. So they're quite strict around what you wear at certain temples. But I mean, I ended up keeping that skirt as a souvenir. I really love it. Can't wait to start wearing it in summer. The temples, I will leave the prices on the description box. And then in the evening of my first full day, I went to Chinatown. Ah, loved it. I've never seen anything like that. It was buzzing. It was busy. Different types of food. They are selling clothes. Different people. Different walks of life. For some reason, will ask me to take pictures of them because obviously I was traveling alone. So I just stand out, and I guess I'm an easy target for other people that are traveling alone. Then what else? Oh yes, one thing I do want to talk about is that Thailand has a Grab car, Bangkok, and then there's a Grab motorbike. I discovered Grab motorbike when I was going to Chinatown, and it became a lifesaver. And it was I think it was one of the things that I really enjoyed about being in Southeast Asia, the motorbike. But it's not, you need to be a person that likes to explore. You need to be comfortable with risky situations because the way they go through their cars, sometimes it can be scary. Also, you're not wearing a helmet. It's speeding, it can be tricky, but it will save you a lot of time, especially because there's a lot of traffic in Bangkok. On my third day, which was actually the day I was supposed to leave, but because again I keep overthinking and procrastinating, I ended up not getting the bus that I wanted to take to my next country. So on this day, or day two, remember I was supposed to leave to my next destination, but I couldn't because the bus was not booked. The buses that were there, I did not like them, and I did not want to take such a long trip in the buses that I was not comfortable with. So I explored. Um, I went to MBK Center. Apparently, it's not too far from where the earthquake happened. So I was there. Really loved it. I went to a museum, spent a lot of time. Oh, what a lovely museum. And then after that, I also went to Central Embassy. I actually kind of got lost because, yeah, things went wrong there. Again, the Wi-Fi issue. Also, I wanted to figure out the railway line, which is hard when you don't speak the language and you can't read the language and you don't know anybody. And the people that I'm seeing there are just saying, I like your hair, I like your hair, which is great, which is nice. But you know, I'm a bit frustrated. It's packed, motorbike, highball. But I loved it. It was such a lovely experience. And in that moment, what sometimes uNkulunkulu would show up even in the smallest things. God always shows up somehow. In that middle of the craziness and the chaos and the loudness, I managed to buy a ticket to Central Embassy, which is a high-end mall that I had been wanting to try. That's where the Dior Cafe is, a lot of high-end stores. I also wanted to go to this other library that is in this mall. So I eventually got into the train. In the train, I'm so lost because now I am stressed, fra, 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 because the stops are said in Thai and they're written in Thai, and I don't know where to get off. I'm sitting and I'm frustrated, and then I sit next to a Thai man, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to look at the surroundings if it does look like Central Embassy, and then quickly hop off. And then the man next to me, does he not start speaking English to me? I felt like I had been saved. He speaks English to me and says, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from South Africa. He's like, no, I live in South Africa. Ah! He lives in Johannesburg in South Africa. He owns Thai massage places. Oh my God, that guy saved the day. It was a tiny thing to him, but to me, it meant so much. He told me, okay, I'm going further than your stop, so I'll tell you when to get off. We started chatting. I told him that I don't live in Johannesburg, but whenever I am there, I am going to go to one of his massage places. He's based in Hyde Park, and he gave me his business card. So whenever, like, I was so frustrated, and he just eased that off. Also, it was raining, so the frustration, because I don't like wet weather, the frustration was really a lot for me. So I got to Central Embassy, got things to eat. It was great. And then in the evening, I went out for dinner all by myself. First part of the dinner was I was exploring the street food. So I would buy food and I would sit on the side of the road. That is the culture. And just eat my food and have the local beer and just live my life. And then later on, I went to this other more high-end restaurant where there's somebody performing and you stand up and you dance and such a great experience. The following day, I extended out of my own will and I explored their mall. It's called Iconism, but it's this huge mall. It's this huge mall. There is just about everything. I did a bit of shopping there. I still love my Thai items, obsessed with them. There's also a market, a Thai market inside the mall, which was quite amazing. I loved it so much. And also on this day, I discovered something else that is new, that there is a sort of like public transport, but you go through the river. It's like a boat that goes at certain times, and you can explore the whole of Bangkok on this boat. Maybe not the whole of it, but the parts that I really like the temples. You get to see the temples from the water. It's a water taxi. I really loved it, really enjoyed it. I love being in the water, I love being on boats. So that last day was just so fulfilling. Ah, my heart was so full. It was a beautiful day. The sun, the sunset. Loved it so much. I can't wait to go back. I would definitely go back to Bangkok. I loved it. I'm not a person who loves being in a metropolis, but there's just something about Bangkok. Loved that city so much. I'll definitely go back. And catch me on my next video where we go into our next destination.